All right, you're still watching TVC Breakfast. Now, you know a lot always happens in the world of social media and more, and the only lady that will give us all the accurate information is standing by. Good morning, Olamide. What's happening on social media?
Good morning, team. A lot is happening, as you know, and unfortunately, we've started late because Wike and Fubara will not allow us rest, so it's eating into my time. Let's dive right in.
Take it away.
Absolutely.
Good morning, Nigeria. I like to say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and our eyes on the streets. And here on the Trending Now segment, my team and I do our best on a daily basis, and it's our absolute pleasure to bring you all the trending stories that are shaping the world that you and I live in. But unfortunately, we're starting today's segment with some sad news where an elderly man, Idowu Fashola, has recounted his ordeal after being accused of sexually assaulting a young girl who had lived with his family from the age of 3. Now, Mr. Fashola said that the girl was placed in his care by his wife for upbringing and training and remained with the family until she returned to her parents. He said this girl's family involved the police, accusing him of rape, leading to a prolonged court case and 7 years in custody. He was eventually found not guilty and discharged after the account was found to be false. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
Àwa ó tẹ̀léra wa a ṣá lọ wọ́n dé ẹnu yàrá tí àwọn ọwọ́dà ń jókòó. Ọlọ́pàá yẹn fẹ́ máa wọ yàrá sí yàrá ni kó máa tá wọn bá. Ọ̀kan náà àwọn ọ̀gá wọn ló ní kó dáwọ́ dúró. Wọ́n bá ní àwọn tí àwa tí wọ́n pa ká máa lọ sí àyè wa. Wọ́n á ṣe àṣàrò bí wọ́n ṣe kó àwọn tí wọ́n pa. Wọ́n lọ ṣe yọbí nìyẹn o tí mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run àtẹni tọ́lọ́run ní bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ tó ṣe ìrànlọ́wọ́ tó gbà mí lẹ̀ ọ̀gbẹ́ni fọlọ́kẹ́ wá dúpẹ́ o.
A very sad ordeal, and we're happy that he's been released. But many Nigerians have reacted to this story, and they're now calling for accountability, both for the false accusations against Mr. Fashola and for the alleged mistreatment of elderly people in custody. Let's have a look at social media. This is so sad. Years of this man's life wasted. Tommy says, for me, the question isn't whether he's free now. It's who the real culprits were and what has been done to hold them accountable. 7 years in prison is no small matter. I'll take 2 more social media entries. Ademola Code says, I'd hope behind bars, please, your help is needed here to punish the accusers for false accusation. Also, the issue of police officers killing inmates, as said by the man, needs to be looked into. This is an eyewitness recounting what he saw in there. Please help. And finally, the Lord of Worry had this to say. He says, and they let the family go just like that. Both the girl, her parents, and everyone involved should be thrown in jail and given the same sentence as the accused would have gotten. False accusation should be treated as a strong federal offense. Now, of course, team, this man's story does raise very important issues within Nigeria's justice system. Several people have, been tried and they lay languishing in prison. And perhaps if somebody did the right thing and got this man the proper legal representation he needed, and evidence was found or not to be found, this wouldn't have happened. I know TVC anchor Olamide Adeyemi, she has a series where she goes to prisons or people who have been released from prison sentences for a long time without any sort of trial. This happens all the time. Metoma, please speak to this issue.
Yes. One of the sad side of our prison system or our justice system is this long period where people just have to wait for their case to be heard. And it is so unfortunate. What pains me about this is that the whole story concerning Mr. Fashola is really painful. They gave you a child to take care of. You did it with all your heart, only to be accused, not for any other thing, but for raping the minor. And now he lost 7 years of his life. Look at a full-grown man crying. It's really painful. 7 years gone, all right? So I would look for the lady that accused me falsely. I want to believe that the court must have gotten evidence of the real perpetrator. That's why they released him, you know. But I still would want to get to that lady that accused me falsely and wasted 7 years of my life.
You know, for me, what hurts me is that the main person that did the thing may be out there walking freely. For me, that is even what hurts me the most. Just to see an elderly man like that break down to tears. You can see the pain, you know, in his eyes. I saw it on social media and I'm like, what is going on? This is barbaric, you know. Who are the people that accused this man falsely? 7 years gone, not 1, not 2, but 7 years. I think that we really need to look into the story, and this should be a point of call, because I'm sure there are still other people rotting in prison for crimes that they have not even committed and they have just forgotten about them. This should be an opener. This should be an eye-opener for us, that we should use this and look into our prison systems, look into our law system. Also, like Etoma mentioned, we have people that are just waiting to be prosecuted and they're just there like that, and we've often forgotten about those people. This is very sad. This is really, really sad.
It is indeed sad, and it's so sad that, you know, at the time this story, you know, broke at the time, a whole lot of people would have, you know, condemned the man. They would have believed that, yes, you actually did it, he has to go to prison, he has to do this and all that. That's why whenever there is an allegation, it's just a suspicion. You need to take it slow, because the person who is alleging might be lying. So we should not rush to crucify or condemn anyone who has been alleged. That's why the law must always take its course. But when the justice is delayed, again, it is denied afterwards.
It is denied.
So when should we, what we need to do is to look at where are we failing in our judicial justice system, so that we won't have people languishing in the correctional facility, which is supposed to be correctional facility as against the prison. But so much is actually, you know, left to be desired. But we thank God that this one is out, but then there has to be reparations.
Absolutely, Tim, and surely Mr. Fashola deserves some sort of legal compensation, you know, from the state or the people who prosecuted him, because he does deserve that. Thank you so much for your input. Moving on, in the world of social media, Kamaru Usman is owning up after a deeply personal moment with Anthony Joshua made its way online. Now, the former UFC champion has apologized for recording and sharing a private FaceTime conversation with the boxing star following the fatal car crash in Nigeria that claimed the lives of Joshua's close associates, Kevin Lateef Ayodele and Sheena Gami. The now deleted video shared via Kamaru Usman's YouTube channel showed Anthony Joshua in hospital in Lagos, visibly injured and emotional, as he spoke about the loss, admitting the reality of the tragedy that had not fully sunk in. The call took place ahead of an MMA event involving Kamaru Usman in Lagos on the 30th of December. And once the clip went viral, backlash was swift. Many people questioned whether Joshua knew he was being recorded and whether the moment should ever have been made public in the first place. Have a look for yourself.
Obviously, two of my good friends passed away.
They were in the front, the two people in the front seats?
You know, like, one was in the front and one was behind him, so those two.
Oh, on the right side. On the right side.
Yeah, on the right side, both passed away, yeah.
Damn.
You know, as soon as it sunk,
Well, Kamaru Usman has since tendered a public apology, saying that he regrets allowing such an intimate conversation to be recorded and shared, acknowledging that it should have remained private. And I actually believe that this is a reminder that in moments of grief, boundaries matter, even when you're just talking to your friends. Let's have a look at social media. ISIP says, man, I respect the honesty here. Owning up like this takes real character. Most people would dodge it. It shows that even when we slip, accountability matters. It's a big lesson for all of us about boundaries, trust, and protecting our people. And BX King says, I lost all respect for Usman if this was a private call and he recorded it. Even if he then asked AJ to post it, his main intention was to farm content. He's not a real friend. Now, team, this really calls into question, you know, dialogues, you know, about the ethics of what we choose to post on social media and what we choose to hold as sacred. He's talking to his friend who has just experienced something extremely traumatic, and then someone else in the background posted it. But still, it doesn't change the fact that it does look very bad. He has tendered an apology now, though, Etoma.
Yes, it actually is bad that he did that, because I'm sure that Anthony Joshua didn't know that that conversation was being recorded. But I also want to give some credit to Usman for coming out without being defensive. He just came out and apologized and said, look, I did wrong, and that's it. Both of them have one thing in common, a terrible right hand.
For me, I understand that he sent out an apology. Good, very good that he did that. But when the glass is broken, it's already broken. I think that nobody should have seen Anthony Joshua in the state of which they saw him. Like, that's a very, very private call. You know, the fact that I don't know who was recording it. Did he ask them to record it? How did it go out? In the first place, I think that people need to understand that not everything needs to go on social media. I feel like the moment we understand that, we'll live better lives, because you are itching to record everything. Now, you recorded a moment that was not supposed to even come out, a way that we're not supposed to even see Anthony Joshua. It's so sad. Although he apologized, but the video is everywhere.
That's why I think that's one of the things that we do on Trending Now. You know, we bring some of these stories just to, you know, teach people, just to educate people about not making everything public. You know, privacy is very, very key when it comes to, you know, you enjoying your peace and all of that. Not everything should make it online. So whoever had done this, it's good that Kamaru Usman had actually apologized, you know, not being defensive, as Thomas said. So we've taken the lessons learned.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your input, team. I'm going to take my last story now, and it's a very interesting one about artificial intelligence, and it's going viral. Now, Elon Musk's artificial intelligence chatbot, Grok, that is integrated into the social media platform X, is under intense global scrutiny after users were able to generate sexually explicit and non-consensual images through a practice known as digital undressing. Reports show that Grok has been used to manipulate images of real women, and in some cases, individuals believed to be minors, by digitally removing clothing or placing them in sexualized scenarios, and it's raising serious legal and child safety concerns. Now, this issue has drawn wider attention following the circulation of AI-generated images involving Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, highlighting how even well-known public figures are vulnerable to the misuse of technology. Authorities are now warning that the creation or distribution of sexualized AI images of children, even if they are digitally generated, may constitute child sexual abuse material under international law. And regulators in the United Kingdom, Europe, and other regions have now contacted Elon Musk's companies, demanding explanations and safeguards while investigations continue. This is very troubling. Let's have a look at social media. I know Ibrahim will have a lot to say. He's our AI consultant in-house. The Aware Man says, using artificial intelligence to undress women without their consent isn't a joke or edgy. It's digital sexual assault. If you can't grasp consent online, that's not curiosity. It's a character failure that people should be alarmed by. And Ella Moulding says, anyone asking Grok to remove clothing from a woman on X should be registered as a sex offender, and anyone having Grok remove clothing from a child on X should legitimately be charged with child pornography and jailed. Disgusting. Now, team, on X, formerly Twitter, you can simply talk to the chatbot there. His name is Grok, and you can say, Grok, please undress, or Grok remove, and he will actually remove pieces of clothing from a woman, from a child, and this is becoming a problem. Very quickly, team.
Does it also remove clothing from men?
I guess if you're into that sort of thing.
But anyhow you look at it, where somebody's clothing has to be removed, whether with the person's consent or not, I find it very insulting, you know, and I find it very annoying. And I see very irresponsible people engaging in things like that.
And this is where the African in me will come out and say, God forbid, you know, because I'm wondering, how do you even think of such a thing? It's a criminal offense, especially you're not just doing it to women, whoever you do it to, a woman, a man, but most importantly, children. No, they should be arrested. I stand against this in all ramifications. I
have a strong bias against Twitter, and I definitely will always lend my voice, you know, for it to be banned. If not in Africa, maybe at least in Nigeria, because Twitter is a place you go to, and then you see that it's the only social media place that you just see explicit content and all of that. Even Elon Musk, when he bought it, I thought it was going to, you know, change something. Yeah. You just be scrolling, reading some stuff, and then you start seeing some, you know, annoying thing. That's why each time I want to go and read something on Twitter, because we want to look for something that is trending, I always pray to God, God, please don't make me sick today. So I think they just need to ban that thing. It's nonsense, nonsense of an app.
And it leaves us with the question, AI is intelligent, but is it ethical? Thank you so much for your input, team.